Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. And Jared, welcome back.
Thanks for having me,
Nice
of
to see
course.
you. Yeah, absolutely.
And I promise not to play any tricks on you this time. No more quizzes.
No more
this
quizzes,
month,
but
this month.
I'll have to say that I was pretty happy with my results on that quiz because, and you were thinking that maybe, I'd seen the numbers and whatever, but no,
we did stump you once or twice, if I remember.
Yeah,
but
right,
yes,
we
you did
did.
very good, very good.
Well, a couple of things. We've got Public Power Week coming up that you want
Absolutely.
to talk about, and then I think of interest to our viewers would be the support that OPU, along with others from Minnesota, are lending to the people in Florida for getting them their power infrastructure, electrical infrastructure back up.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So let's start with Public Power Week. So we have coming up on October 5th. Hopefully you can see this here. But on October 5th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., we will be having our Public Power Week celebration. So it's actually Public Power Week and Public Natural Gas Week, both in one. But on that day, we will have some refreshments. Went over very well last year to have the photo prop of a utility lineman. So we have both the children's size and the adult size available. So stop down and definitely get your picture as a lineman. Have some refreshments. We will be doing a couple of tours this year. That was something that we were asked about a lot last year. So tours will be at 9 a.m., noon, 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. And you'll find this same brochure in your utility bill this month, actually, with your bill itself. So hopefully we'll get a great turnout again this year. I know it went very well last year as well. And get to learn a little bit about public power. We'll have a couple things for the kids to take home and play with as well, and share some of our information with everybody.
No, you've been in the building, the new building, for maybe 3 years yet? A couple years?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah,
I think it was 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is it going?
Well,
I mean,
very well.
Was there any issues that popped up that needed to be
Well,
reconciled?
With any new building, there's always going to be a few things. You get in, you start using the space, you find a few things that need to be tweaked. That's just pretty normal.
Sure.
Nothing really big, though.
Yeah.
I mean, things were tested with the flood mitigation efforts that we had installed more than once now. And that went very well. Right. We did learn a few things from that, but let's see, it'd be 2016 in September. We had quite a bit of water down there, and that went very well, and without really much of an issue. Yeah. Basement was able to get cleaned out afterwards, and we never had to move our operations. In 2010 when we flooded, we weren't in the building at all anymore. We had operations down at the city fire hall. We had operations down at the public library for customers to come in and make payments. Yeah. So it was nice to be able to, even during that flooding situation, stay in our office, stay open in that same location for our customers.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And, saved a historical structure, at least
absolutely,
locally.
Absolutely. Well, and it's a huge icon. I've seen people, when they give directions through Owatonna, they talk about going by the power plant. Yeah. And their meeting might have nothing to do with us. Sure. So it's very a big icon in Owatonna here. Yeah. So.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the support of getting Florida back up and powered, if you will.
Right. Right.
We've got some people going down, and,
yes,
along with others.
Well, we have people down there, absolutely. So I believe it was about 19 utilities from Minnesota were called for mutual aid to come down and help restore power in Florida. Because we had already had one large hurricane down there, a lot of the current crews were already inundated or busy with restoration efforts in Texas. So they started looking at mutual aid in the further north states right away. So we had a crew go down with a convoy of other municipal utilities from Minnesota this past weekend. They did their staging in I believe it was Georgia, and then are going in to work on restoring power in Florida, as it's safe to do so in different areas. So
how many employees then?
We have 2 going from Owatonna, and they drove down in a boom truck along with most of the other utilities sending a boom truck or a boom truck and pickup. You've got some of the local Ones that I know of course, Owatonna, Rochester also sent a crew. Austin, Minnesota sent a crew. I don't know all of the others yet, but hopefully we'll get some great recognition for all of those individuals and those crews that went down. It's wonderful to be able to help out. A lot of our linemen really enjoy being able to go and help out. And that's why we call it mutual aid, because when we need it, we ask for it as well. If you remember a couple of years ago, we had that May blizzard, and it wasn't mutual aid from across the country, but it was mutual aid from across the state.
I'd rather think that people from Florida would say, "Whoa, the blizzard, huh? Oh, I don't know."
That would be definitely a different situation for linemen from Florida to be working in a couple feet of snow. But I'm sure if we had a major disaster in blizzard country, and should we have major problems, I'm sure that they would step up to the game as well.
Well, mutual aid is kind of an interesting thing. I know with fire, oftentimes, that someone will come from a neighboring town, but then another neighboring town from that town will come to have a vehicle and a piece of apparatus at their different neighboring town. Just they kind of backfill.
Yep.
So it would kind of be that way, I would say.
It's a little bit different with the linemen because we don't send our entire crew down. Usually, you've got a fire. The entire fire crew is out there. It's not necessarily just one truck and two guys. So we do have, I think it's 3 full lineman crews, and so we sent one of those down, and so we still have 2 in the area.
Sure.
And so that means that we won't have problems. We had a little bit of storm damage here the other night, and we got that restored right away. We'd still be able to do that here. And just like any situation, if it was bad enough, we would call for a little bit of mutual aid from the local area as well. But it really doesn't change how we operate here. We're still going to have good, safe, reliable electric here, and we still have some of our crews here on site as well.
Do we have a relationship with I want to say NSP, but it's not NSP anymore, but and also the rural people, so that if we have needs for support, can we count on those folks?
Well, we first start with Minnesota Municipal Utility Association, or MMUA. They're an organization that represents most of the municipal utilities in Minnesota, Owatonna included, and that's really who organized this mutual aid effort to go down to Florida as well, was MMUA. We first start with them. We have some great contracts in place with MMUA, and there's a lot of municipal electric utilities in this area to be able to come and help. And should we not be able to get the help we need through that, then we would work with some of the cooperative electric utilities. Interestingly enough, on the natural gas side, we do work directly with Xcel Energy for different things. They have some equipment that we can't afford to own ourselves, and so there have been a couple of times that we have actually hired them to come into town and help us with some of the maintenance that we have to do. That's not annual maintenance, it's just things that have to be done periodically, and it's wonderful to have the ability to work with them. They do have a larger financial support for more expensive equipment than we do.
Let's go back to the guys that are down in Florida right now. It's a different environment. I mean, obviously you're in an emergency situation. Water and electricity, they don't mix very well.
They don't mix safely. That's for sure.
So the training that the guys have had to come to work with OPU, is that satisfactory to do the work that has to be done down in Florida now?
Yes. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't talk about safety beforehand, during, and after as well. When the crews met in Rochester, they did have a large all-crew safety briefing over in Rochester before they did their convoy down. But it's no different than working around the Owatonna area when we have flooding situations. They will work in safe areas, and when more areas become safe to work in, they'll move into those areas to work in those areas as well. Sure. But absolutely, it doesn't matter if you're a lineman here in Minnesota or a lineman down in Florida or over in California. They do have all the same training and education. Of course, you have different climate experiences, but you do have all the same safety and training and education.
And the Florida people are in charge. They're going to be doing they're going to be. Yep. We're doing this is what we want you folks.
We're there to support their efforts. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. As we come on to colder weather, I don't want to talk about it, but we think about gas supply and the like. Those things that we count on. How are we looking for the upcoming heating season?
Very well, very well. You know, we continue to have more supply than needed into Owatonna. We have the ability to serve all of the community as it expands and continues to expand for the foreseeable future. You know, we of course had a couple years ago, we had some pricing problems, and since then we've changed some of our strategies to help mitigate that pricing risk, and that's been going very well. You know, we had that natural gas rate decrease last year. You know, we're in our budget season right now, and preliminary it looks like we'll probably be seeing a little bit of a decrease again this year as well.
When you talk about the pricing issues, is that a SIMPA-driven pricing process, or is it a local utility driven?
Well, actually, SIMPA doesn't involve themselves with a natural gas utility at all, so they're just on the electric side. We work with an agency that helps us purchase our natural gas and do our hedging, different things like that. And that's, I don't know all the details of that, but we definitely have enough natural gas, and things are looking very well.
You have someone or a group of people down at OPU that handle that?
We have one person that's in charge of the overall purchasing, and then we have people that deal with some of the daily purchases as well. But we're, like I said, we've got an agency that handles most of that now, and they've been able to do even a better job than we were able to. So,
Any idea? Can you tell how many folks we have at OPU now, employees?
Oh, you know, we still kind of float around about that 55 to 58 range right now. I'm not sure the numbers right offhand.
Well, when you think about the size of our community, you know, and we love it when we can go flip the switch and on it comes and flip it, you know, and it's, so.
Absolutely.
Well, good. Thanks for the update. A lot of stuff going on down there and away from down there. And thanks to all of you for the work that you're doing. Look forward to having you back in a month's time, I guess.
Sounds good. 2 months, I believe.
2 months. Okay,
yes.
Very well. Whatever, you know when. Okay, and thank you for being with us today. We're going to take a break for some messages from our sponsor, and then we'll be right back. So please stay tuned.